Sriracha, Sriracha, emphasis on different syllables. Sriracha or Sriracha. Excuse me, are you okay? Do you need a cough drop? Hipster ketchup, rooster sauce, cock sauce. I say Sriracha. My name is Randy Clemens, author of the Sriracha Cookbook and the Veggie Lovers Sriracha Cookbook. We're here at the Studio City Farmers Market looking for some inspiration to cook up something real nice today. Farmers markets are such an important thing to me. They're an anchor in the community, and it lets you meet the people that grow your food. Each time you have an opportunity to vote with your fork, it's like, by doing this, I'm supporting a small local organic farmer. I didn't grow up with Brussels sprouts, I didn't grow up with asparagus, I didn't grow up with eggplant. My mom hated those things because her grandma cooked them until they were gray mush, and so I never got to taste them. Today I found some inspiration in some Brussels sprouts. I think I'm gonna throw together a little raw Brussels sprout salad with like a spicy sriracha, lemon, maple vinaigrette. I had a nice home and both parents were there and we had dinner on the table just about every night. On our block, like, families ate dinner together. My mom wasn't the best cook, but she made it seem effortless. My mom cooked typical American comfort food stuff. There was a lot of stuff that came out of the freezer or, from like a box mix. I think I kind of got into cooking when I was about 13. She went back to work and I was home alone over the summer, and I was watching the Food Network and kind of got really into cooking that way and started playing around in the kitchen and having dinner on the table like by the time my mom got home. I couldn't have asked to grow up anywhere better. I love Southern California. I love Los Angeles. One of the biggest reasons is how many different cultures we have here. To me, it's been so important to be exposed to those. Getting to taste all these different cuisines and meet all these different people and get like a context for what their cooking is, and an understanding that way has been so powerful for me, and it has most definitely influenced my cooking. My friend Phi, he's Vietnamese, and I'd never been exposed to Vietnamese food before. So I started going over to his house quite often because I was in marching band and jazz band with him, and we were like in school all the time. So I'd stay at his house a lot of times and stay overnight sometimes. Then I started tasting his mom's cooking, and I was like way excited to stay over at his house. One morning she'd made a big bowl of Vietnamese fried rice, com gien, and there was just a bottle of sriracha sitting there on the table. I put some on the rice and it was like done. I was in love. I think it hits like this magic mark of being almost too spicy. You feel like you're doing something a little wild. Eating things that are spicy, it releases endorphins and gets you kind of like feeling good. I've been raised like, doctor, lawyer, something prestigious. So I surprised myself and my family when I said I wanted to go to culinary school. I literally didn't know it existed, but I walked through, and like by the time the tour was done, I just kind of turned around and was nodding at my parents. My uncle was in the hospital. He was suffering from HIV at the time. He was a gay man who had contracted HIV and was living with it forever. I didn't even know. I mean, I didn't even find out he was gay. It was, it was a little taboo in my family. He passed away just before I graduated high school. He didn't leave anything else for anyone in the family, but like paid for the culinary school. It was kind of like, I hope it resonated. I loved him, and we get one chance to be here and to be ourselves, and he was doing that. Thank you, Uncle Dave. I'm sure I threw some sriracha in a stir fry or something fairly early on. One of the earliest ones that I really remember having kind of an epiphany, though, was when I made hot wings, or buffalo wings. It's pretty traditionally done with like Frank's Red Hot. But I was out, and I had like everything else. Oh, I've got that bottle of sriracha, so threw some, in instead of the Frank's Red Hot. Then it got me thinking, oh, how else can I play with this? And then over the years, just kind of assembling these ideas in my head, and that's when, a few years later, it was like, I could put together a cookbook with these. Like, yeah, like I should do that. I just got really, really excited and got cooking and writing everything down, and started on a book proposal and asked some friends for help and guidance, and here we are. Sriracha is a Thai style of hot sauce. It kind of gained popularity in the Thai town of Sriracha, and it's very different than the Huy Fong Foods version that we know and love here in the US. So the Huy Fong Foods version came about, a gentleman named David Tran. He lived in Vietnam, was of Chinese descent, and was growing chili peppers in Vietnam, but not really making any money, so decided to start making like a value-added product and started making these hot pepper sauces and selling them. Then there was the whole Vietnam War thing, and after that was done, the government was kind of pushing out foreigners, even though I think he was born and raised in Vietnam, but he was of Chinese descent. It was just kind of like, nah, we want, you know. So he was forced to flee on a Taiwanese freighter called Huy Fong, and that's how he got the name. Was holed up there for a little while, finally got asylum, and started Huy Fong Foods in 1980. Got a big Hobart mixer and a Chevy van to deliver stuff, and went about his way. And then in 1983, released his version of Sriracha sauce. Now just opened that huge $40 million-ish facility in Irwindale. It's cranking out over 20 million bottles a year. Doing all right for himself. The books have just been incredible, beyond the feeling of putting a book out. The comments I get back on my blog or on Facebook or anything like that have just been really overwhelming. I love that kind of stuff where it's like, oh my God, someone made something from my book. It's so cool. It never gets old. My books have certainly influenced, some of my friends. I think the bigger influence has been the Veggie Lovers Sriracha cookbook. So I went vegetarian a little under 4 years ago. And it was a surprise to me, like I never ever expected I'd become vegetarian. The meat production system that's in place in the United States is broken, and I didn't want to be supporting that system anymore. If someone wanted to explore a vegetarian or vegan dish for one dish, maybe even once out of the entire year, it's something. If I've had that effect on someone, then I think that's fantastic. The Sriracha Festival that I did last year, it sold out. We had 1,000 people there that just wanted to eat food with Sriracha on it, and like someone came dressed as a Sriracha bottle. Like I've met people that are as crazy fanatical about it as I am, which is really kind of cool. Like, to find someone else who's as weird as you is a lot of fun. And there's absolutely a Sriracha community. I hear it all the time. I got a bottle of Sriracha on my desk at work, or like I've got a bottle of Sriracha in my car. It's taken off for sure, and it's just gonna continue to propel, I think. If I'm getting more people cooking with hot sauce, I think that's kind of cool too.